Okay. I figured I'm safe on this one. Not even waiting till the end of the game to do the video because we are currently losing 37-3 with almost an entire quarter to go. This is one of those games that it becomes just comically bad so fast that you're just kind of detached. Um, well, I don't even know how to even talk about this game because I mean it's trending, to be certainly one of the worst home losses and maybe losses period in the history of the damn franchise. Um, no one saw this coming. I mean, we've had issues with Dallas, um, in recent years that just kind of the matchup and how they play, how we play. But you know, again, no one saw this coming. But this has just been a complete and total ass kicking. This makes the Philadelphia game look competitive. At least the Philadelphia game, there were a couple of moments where if certain things go differently, maybe that's a game. No, this isn't. This has really never been a game. Um, the very first drive of the game, Kirk gets strip sacked. We hold him to 3. Then we go down. Looks like we're going to get a touchdown. Hawkinson drops a pass in the end zone. Should have been a touchdown. We end up just getting a field goal. But you're like, okay, well, we answered what? That was it. Like that was that, and it wouldn't have mattered. It would be 37-7 right now. Um, but but yeah, I mean, it's just been a complete ass kicking in the trenches. Our offensive line, this has been an absolute horror show. Darisaw got concussed again, so he's going to be out for certainly for Thanksgiving and maybe beyond. I mean, when you get concussions in back-to-back games, I mean, it's just been a complete ass kicking. Kirk's been sacked, I think, 7 times so far, most in his career, and I mean, the Kirk haters are in their fucking glory. They're blaming all this on Kirk. It's ridiculous. Like everyone's been terrible today, but I mean, you can't. It's absolute insanity that these people are out there saying this is all on Kirk. Um, we're down 37-3 and you're blaming one player. It's just I fucking hate people so much. But it's just been since 3-3. It's just been Dallas just running down our throats easily. They haven't thrown that much. I don't even know what Prescott's at for yardage. They haven't thrown that much, but when they have it, it's been big plays. They hit a big one, first drive of the third quarter. It was like I think it was 23-3 at that point. They have a third and long. You're like, well, okay, maybe if we can get them stopped here, we'll get the ball back. We can kind of get back in the game. No, we give up like I don't even know how long it was. Must have been about an 80-yard touchdown. They threw it to the running back, and he just almost untouched. Like they've had a couple of touchdowns today, they were just untouched. Just a complete non-competitive performance from the defense. Andrew Booth has been just torched the entire game. Just terrible line of scrimmage play on defense. There was like a 3rd and 1 where looked like maybe we were going to stand them up, and then they just plowed over us. Like we're just not competitive completely. I don't know how many different ways I can say the same thing. It's just been complete trash, terrible performance. No one comes out of this looking good at all. Um, this defense has been. They've had periods this year where they have been just awful, and they've been really opportunistic with some turnovers and getting some big stops like in fourth quarters. Oh, and now that's 40-3. They get another field goal. They also hit a 60-yard field goal right before halftime. They took it back because they wanted to review the play before, which wasn't even a catch, but they went ahead and ruled it that it was still a catch. So they retried the field goal, and he hit it better. I mean, these kickers can never miss on us. I mean, you can't count the two. It was just one field goal instead of the two, but we're a double doink away from opposing kickers essentially being 4 for 4 on 60-yard field goals, to be honest, this year. But everything that could go wrong in this game has gone wrong. Absolutely everything. I'm curious to see now. We're going to get the ball back here for some garbage time. If KOC keeps putting Kirk out there, like I've been team KOC all the way, but it's coaching negligence to continue to put some of these starters out there, especially when you got another game in 4 days. We gotta play New England in like 100 hours or something like that. Like get these guys out of there. But it's just as dominant a game in the trenches as you've ever seen. We've just been completely non-competitive. And Dallas is the first team really that we've played at least in a while that's kind of stuck with the run. Like people were talking about how this Vikings run defense is, it's so good because it was like top 10. Well, it's top 10 because teams kind of weirdly don't run on us. They kind of stop running because our pass defense has been so vulnerable. At points, it's like, okay, we'll just throw on them, and they choose not to run. But I hope that this isn't like a blueprint game now, and Dallas is giving everybody else the blueprint. Is like, here's how to just destroy this Vikings defense. Just keep running. And obviously, we got Tomlinson out still. I don't know. I kind of doubt he's back for Thanksgiving game. And obviously, Dallas is a good team. Like they're going to be getting a lot of hype now. I mean, they always get a lot of media hype, but they're really going to be getting it now because you go into the house of an 8-1 team and you're currently beating them by 37 points. Like that's going to open a lot of eyes. That's going to be, you know, there's going to be a lot of Cowboys in the Super Bowl hype now because the Eagles only barely won today, so they might be slipping a little bit. And obviously, we more than slipped. We fell down the stairs and broke every bone on the way down the stairs. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just nothing good on defense. Offense again, Kirk hasn't been good, but you can't be good. Like no quarterback can be good in this scenario, and we've seen it before. Like we've seen at times in Kirk's career here, offensive line when they play like this. There we go. Nick Mullins is in the game. Okay, thank you, Kevin, for getting Kirk out of this game so he doesn't die. Although that does officially end Kirk's streak of one touchdown pass per game. I think he was up near 40 almost with the totals, and I'm sure it's going to be mostly just handing the ball off at this point just to get the hell out of here. But it's not like we're gonna see. What can Nick Mullins do in this offense? Oh, he's actually going to throw. I don't know who else is in there. I hope they got JJ out. JJ, I guess, had some turf toe situation going on, so hopefully he's out of the game too, because there's nothing to be gained from leaving these guys in there. That pass was to Rager. Gonna get a lot of Jalen Rager catches, I guess, the rest of the game. But total, just a shit performance from everybody. Like, we had a couple passes that were dropped. Like Hawkinson dropped the pass early. Like, you can't when it's 40-3. You can't break it down to any one play. But we didn't do anything. We've done nothing the whole game. We ran a little bit. I don't know. I don't understand the game plan. Just last week, Green Bay ran all over these guys, and we were really forcing the pass so much early in the game. And forcing the pass when your pass protection is terrible. It's like it's doubly stupid, and we didn't go away from that. We just kept forcing the pass and forcing the pass, getting Kirk hit, like people yelling at Kirk, like why isn't he doing something? He can't do anything. There's no pocket. He's getting destroyed on every play. Before Darisaw got out of the game again, he had given up a couple sacks, like his first sacks all year that were credited to him. Like this is just not. I wish people would understand, but they won't because these people have been waiting for nearly 2 months. Actually, I think it's been more. I think it's been just over 2 months since the actual last loss that we had. And there's only so much bitching you can do about the quarterback when you win. Um, and these people are just jumping at they're jumping out of the cracks that they've been in, the sewer that they've been in, to go after Kirk. Like, no quarterback can possibly succeed with the kind of pass protection that we saw today. It was just a mauling. They were just absolutely destroyed. And we were one of the things coming into this game is like, well, we got the the high of the Buffalo game, emotional game, tough game. On our side, Dallas had the blown game in Lambeau, tough game, tough loss. How would they come out? Well, obviously we had some. There's absolutely some hangover factor here. There's no way there wasn't. And Dallas pissed off that they lost that game, like really pissed off. And Dallas is good. Like prior to them losing to Green Bay last week, I was like, I wasn't totally sure Dallas wasn't maybe better than Philadelphia. And I know Dallas lost to Philadelphia, but Dallas is a really good team, and they're a tough matchup for us, and they have been in the past. Never to this degree. We've at least played. We played them 3 years in a row before this. They were all close games. Came down right to the end. Like no team in the NFL. Yeah, I don't care if it's the Eagles and the Texans. No team in the NFL is 40-3 better than anybody else. It comes down to just coaching and effort. And I don't think the effort has been very good today. We just refused to tackle. I mean, it was just an absolute embarrassing display of tackling the whole fucking game. Like, the scheme's just not good. Like, I mean, the Donatel defense, yeah, they improved a little bit after the bye. And obviously, like I said, they've been very opportunistic this year in getting turnovers and big stops when we've needed them. Like, we would not have won 7 games in a row if not for some of the stuff that the defense had done. But on a play-by-play basis, they're still not good, and they're still leaving, gaping running lanes and receivers wide open. It needs to be better. Maybe it's not going to get better this year on a play-to-play basis. And again, Dallas is really good. This was the toughest game we had left on the schedule. I mean, I don't think anyone else that we have left is as good as Dallas. We've got some tough games left, but no one is as good as Dallas. But other teams can run, and we're gonna have to account for that. And if they do run, we're gonna have to fucking tackle better than we did today. And we're gonna have to block better. I'm certainly not chalking up Thanksgiving as a sure win just because New England won today. They didn't even score an offensive touchdown. They won on a punt return, but like facing Belichick, and he's not an idiot. He's not going to go out there and he's not going to come out on Thursday and have Mac Jones try to throw 50 times after seeing this. Like he's gonna be like, we're gonna run it, and we better be able to fucking stop the run, and we better be able to block. Because guess what? We're probably gonna have Blake Brandel at left tackle, and I don't know that I buy into the whole idea that a team needs to kind of lose a game once in a while when they're on a win streak, and maybe they start to think that maybe they're better than they are. Like and they earned the Buffalo win. Like, they were great. They made a great comeback, and they made a lot of great plays to win that game. And they've earned their record to this point. 8-2, still to this point, is better than anyone would have thought. But you know, and I'm not saying that that's what they've done leading into this game is just kind of, as they say, reading your own press clippings. But the effort was not there. You know, and the preparation was clearly not there. And and that's on coaching. And Kevin O'Connell has been a fantastic coach this year for the Vikings. I don't think anyone can dispute that. And even really good teams and even really good coaches get their ass kicked once in a while. We've now had it happen twice. You know, and just like after the Philly game, it's like, how are you going to respond after that? And so how are they going to respond? Because you got a game coming up in 4 days against they are a winning team. New England's, I think, 6-4. Like, they're a winning team. Oh god, we got somebody else hurt now. I think we have all backups in, or I hope we have all backups in, even on defense. But I mean, obviously, like, it's not like a preseason game where you have, like, 80 guys and you can just put backups in for everybody. Some starters do have to play, even at this point in the game. But yeah, I mean, how will they respond? That's the big thing, is how do you respond? Like, ultimately, if we had been beaten 40-3 by Buffalo and then come back and got a a tight win against Dallas, it would count the same in the standings. Um, and I'm just dreading the onslaught of the Vikings are frauds people coming back, and we're no good actually, and Kirk sucks, and O'Connell's not any good, and this team is one and done in the playoffs. I mean, they grudgingly gave us some credit for the Buffalo win, but they didn't mean it, and it's obvious. And and then seeing the Kirk haters flood back out, it's like, I tire of the narratives, and it's been nice to win 7 in a row and not have to hear about all this shit. But it's gonna come flooding back. That's fine. They can call us frauds if they want. I don't care. What was it? The 2008 Cardinals. They got beat like 50-7 or something by the Patriots, like right at the end of the season, and then they went on and went to the Super Bowl. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, the overall wins and losses matter. The points you win or lose by don't matter. The wins and the 7 straight wins, they all count just as much. They all count as one. The losses, even if it's 40-3, even if it gets to be worse than 40-3, even though Dallas looks like they're basically just running it out, it still just counts as one. Yeah, it doesn't look good, but ultimately what it looks like doesn't mean anything. It's gross, and it's humbling, and it sucks to lose in this fashion. And we have to hear about, it's primetime Kirk. Like, they've given up 40 points. They didn't punt until like mid-third quarter. I think they have their backup in now too. It's like, but it's narratives, it's media, it's just stupid people. And if this gets people off the bandwagon, fine. Stay the fuck off the bandwagon. I don't care. This team is still going to win the division. This team still has a really good chance to be the 2 seed, and still have a shot at the 1 seed. I mean, the Eagles have slipped a little bit, so I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I care enough that I'm talking about it, but I don't care that much what the perception of this team is nationally. It's nice to not have to defend the Vikings are frauds people, but and this is a humbling game. Like, all the power rankings will be just tumbling down those things. Florio will probably have us in the 20s at least. And this was just an ass kicking. But again, no team is 40-3 better than any other team. This is just a horrible performance, top to bottom. And the last time we got our ass kicked wasn't this bad, but it wasn't at home. But the last time we got our ass kicked like this, we rattled off 7 wins in a row. I mean, and I believe we have 7 games left in the season, regular season after this. And we're not going to win 7 in a row. Like, I knew we weren't going to go 16-1. I mean, that was just not realistic. Like, that would put us with like one of the greatest teams in the history of the NFL. I know we're not that good, but this is still a good team. They just had a complete disaster of a game, top to bottom, every way you can look at it. And once again, we'll see what's the response. Like, how do they respond, and how do they respond quickly, and how do they respond with, you know, almost the winningest coach in the history of the NFL coming in here in a few days, who's absolutely gonna see the tape of this game and think, we can do what Dallas did. And are we prepared to counter it? Because there wasn't a lot of fight in this game. Not a lot of fight. Not a lot of adjustment. Maybe sometimes there's just not adjustments to be made. We certainly changed things up in other games, and that's how we were able to come back and win some games. But this very disappointing day. But if people want to jump off the bandwagon entirely because of this game, bad as it is, and it's bad, there's no sugarcoating this. This is one of the most humbling losses that a good Vikings team, I think, has ever had. I mean, even like 2009, kind of late in the season, we got blown out by the Panthers and Cardinals a couple times. 98, we never got blown out. 2000, I think we got blown out a couple times late in the season. But you can be a good team. You can be a really good team, and you still get your ass kicked once in a while, because that's just how it goes sometimes. And this was an ass kicking. Credit to Dallas, they kicked our ass, up, down, left, right, everywhere. And if we face them again in the playoffs, we're gonna have to play a whole lot better than this. That's for sure. But this doesn't mean that we're heading for a collapse. This doesn't mean we're gonna be a one and done in the playoffs. It's a game. It's one game. We got our ass kicked. There's nothing. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no silver linings. This is a game in which nobody played well. Nobody did anything well. No one coached well. No one played well. No one did anything well. And because that happened, we will have to suffer the insults and the put downs for not just this week, but going forward. Because if we go beat New England on Thanksgiving, no one's going to care, because there's just like, I remember when you got destroyed at home by Dallas, and that's all that's going to matter, and that's just how it is. And how do they respond? That'll be the big thing, and I expect they will respond. I think they will respond well. And some of it will be, you're not playing Dallas, who will be shooting up all those power rankings now. But I've already talked for over 20 minutes about one of the worst football games I've probably ever seen. I hate these games where they're so bad and they're so over early that you just detach from it. Reminds me of games like 38-7, where it was like it's halftime and it's just over, and I just don't even. I'm just not even. I'm not even in a zone where I can watch the game and just and do anything. So, but there's no silver lining for the game, but for the season, yeah, because we're still 8-2. No one thought we'd even be 8-2. There were a lot of people who didn't even think they'd win 8 games all year. But we're already 8-2. We're rolling towards the division title still. Detroit's actually in second place now. Um, but we'll still be able to win the division. Just a question of what seed we get. We're still going to be 2 up on Seattle, who is currently still the 3. Tampa's the 4. And again, I can't find any positives from this game, but I can certainly find positives in being 8-2. And look, I thought they were. At the start of the month, if I thought if we went 2-2 in November, that'd be pretty good. And we've already got the 2 wins, so I think we'll be fine. Obviously, if we lose to New England, then people are really going to be like, in Chicken Little mode, running around saying that we're going to lose out or something. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we will bounce back pretty well. It'll be close because that's what we do. But I think we'll bounce back pretty well. I think this is still a well coached team, a veteran team that they can understand that hey, today was not our day in any shape, way, or form. Dallas did everything right. We did everything wrong. But it is just one game, and we'll lick our wounds, but we're still in first place by a significant margin, and we're still on our way to the playoffs, and that will be where we determine what the outcome of the season really is, and what the story will be. So, any Vikings fans watching, I would just say, don't give in to the misery and the negativity. Like, this was a terrible day, terrible game, but we still have a pretty good team, and there's still a lot of good days ahead.